Greetings, sisters and brothers of Local 2627. Today is Monday, November the 7th, 2011. And Robert Ajay here. I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Now, what you see I have thrown across my chest is one of the t-shirts that we issued to our members at the Labor Day Parade. The t-shirt design was basically from Artie Kellum, one of our brothers at HRA, who was our coordinator for the Labor Day Parade. And as you can see, we have our 2627 logo over here. And down on this side, we have a list of some of the different tasks that we do: land, wind, job, oracle, COBOL, blah, 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 blah. And on the back of the t-shirt, which I thought was kind of cool, we do it, or we do IT, however you want to look at it. And it lists some of the things that we do in our capacity as IT workers for the city of New York. And I thought it was kind of cool the way Artie had used that phrase. Anyway, moving right along. The web clock is coming to the Department of Finance on December the 5th. Sitting down with OLR on November 14th, we will discuss the web clock coming to the Boulevard building of Department of Corrections to make sure that everything's put in place. And of course, we want to monitor what's happening with the web clock at the Department of Finance also, to make sure that there's no nuances that weren't thought about at the time of the actual implementation. On October 31st, we went to the City Council for a City Council hearing on contracting and technology, and a lot of testimony was given. The City Council is in our corner. They're behind us because they should not be contracting out our jobs. Now, we were assured by a couple of people like Deputy Mayor that this was not the type of thing that was going to happen. Now, at the next day, we received notification that Do It was going to spend $300 million on contracting out our jobs. And there was a public hearing at 22 Reed Street, which you probably received the email on. We tried to get as many people to attend as possible. It was a short notice because it was less than 72 hours. I think we notified you the evening before when we got the information on where it was actually being held and everything. Now, in Section 11 of our citywide contract, there's a clause that says that they cannot just arbitrarily issue contracts without giving the local, or not the local, but giving the city a 90-day warning. And within 45 days, we are able to go to the controller's office and discuss alternative plans that city workers can do it better than the contractors. This is something that's a complete violation. And $300 million is crazy. I mean, they're laying off people, and they say they don't have money, but they can give $300 million to private contractors and to no bid contracts. I mean, there wasn't even a bid for these contracts. Anyway, this is to use my famous word for this, is some grimy things that the city's doing. We're trying to put a halt to this. We have John Liu in the picture. John Liu is looking at this very carefully, and hopefully everything will come out the way it's supposed to come out, which means it's in our favor. This morning, you might have received a email yesterday that I would be doing an interview on WBAI radio, a call-in interview. They called me. They asked me to, they were to talk about some of the contracting things. So we had a discussion this morning at 7:45, I believe. They talked to me about 10 minutes, and I gave them my views on the contracting out. And right now we're in the process of finding a way to put this streaming audio on our website so everybody can listen to this interview. I've had questions about the Occupy Wall Street. DC 37 is in favor of the occupation of Wall Street. In fact, in this month's PEP, the November 2011 PEP, the centerfold speaks entirely about the occupying of Wall Street. Also, if you go to the DC 37 website and you go into the search and you type in Occupy, they will give you a link to our discussion with Lillian Roberts has to say about the occupation of Wall Street. I want to remind you again that we have to vote, we have to vote, we have to vote. It's important that we send a message out to these politicians that we're not going to have them get rid of our jobs the way they're trying to get rid of our jobs. And let me just remind you, if I haven't mentioned this before, on October 7th, when they laid off 700 DOE workers, Department of Ed workers, 2 days before, on the 5th, we had a demonstration at City Hall. Now, my problem with the demonstration was held at 4 o'clock. I'm sorry, and there was about 125 people that showed up to the demonstration. Now, of the 125, probably half of them were politicians and DC 37 staff. My problem is 700 members were going to lose their jobs in 2 days. How come there wasn't at least 700 people at this demonstration? We have gotten so complacent that we won't even go out there and fight for our own jobs. And you don't think that the city sees this? This is shameful. This is totally shameful. 700 people are going to be laid off, and the 700 people wouldn't even come out for their own jobs. Even though we had a short notice on the contracting issue at 22 Reed Street, we were able to have 20 Local 2627 members in the audience, and this made an impression because it was a small room, so we crowded the room. This is what we need, and we need to do this all the time. Anytime there's something that's going to affect our lives in the future or in the present, we need to make noise. We need to show up and show as much support for our cause as we can possibly show. We need to lay off the politicians who have their own agendas in their minds. Good and welfare this week. Theo Gary Brunson had a death in the family. Sorry he lost his mom. He's from HRA. NYPD Roland DeWent is ill. We hope him a speedy recovery. Until next week, this is Robert Ajayi in solidarity. And please, please get involved in both. Thank you.